was right for Drew. I remember when I first met with Joss, I went in and thought it was going to be an audition, but I met with Joss, Gail Berman, David Greenwald, and Marcia Schulman, who was head of casting at Fox. And when I got there, they said, "Oh, no, they don't want you to read, they just want to have a meeting. Joss saw you in Tim Burton's movie Ed Wood, and another movie I'd done with Whoopi Goldberg, and they just want to have this meeting." And so I went in and we talked, and we had the most incredible creative meeting where we were just bouncing ideas, and he was saying, I would like the character to be English, but I'm not sure, it would depend if we can find an actor who can do it. And I was like, oh no, she has to be English. And I sort of did a little bit of Drew, what I thought she should do in the room. I think I wafted up to the ceiling and started talking to myself or something. And they were like, that's it, okay, that's great. And before I got into my car, that they called my agent and had booked me to do the show. And then I read with the final choices for Spikes, and James came in, and the minute that he came in, we just had this incredible acting chemistry, and all this stuff started happening, and it was just really fun. And so the dialect came from a specific person, but then when I started working on Drew and putting in all the other ingredients, after James's audition, I had a creative meeting with Joss where we sat down and just talked about the lore of the show and what he wanted from Drusilla, and he said all these incredibly contrasting adjectives. And I thought, how am I going to put this into one character? Everything he said, you know, she's sensual, but she's childlike. She's powerful, but she's weak. Like, everything was opposite. She's completely diabolical, but she's sweet. And, you know, so I was like, okay. And I left, but then as I started working on it, I started putting all the ingredients together, and then what I was working with kind of informed the dialect, so that the sound was like my friend, but the kind of sing-songy and the pacing and the whispery quality sort of came out of the other elements that I was putting in, and it just sort of gelled into being what she became.
Well, thank you so much.